everybody, and God bless. So what I want to talk about, I feel like is too important to just put in a quick little short. And I really just wanted to make sure you guys understand what I am trying to say. And that is being led by God's plan, not our plan. Okay? So someone recently just asked me that. They were like, what's your plan? And we were talking about God's plan. And my answer was to be led by God. And a lot of times we're just like, how do we do that? What does that mean? So for starters, you know that you're at least changing in God when you're changing. So many Christians out here are saying, oh, I feel like I'm closer to God and da-da-da, and they're doing the same exact stuff. Like, what do you mean you're hearing from God when you're listening to secular music? What do you mean that you've been seeing God when you're watching ungodly stuff, right? So it's so important that the first step in following God is to be willing to change, be willing to let things go, including people. I see people all the time that are like, I got right with God, da da da, and it's the same exact people around them, and I'm like, did they also get right with God as well? Did we all have a big revival? Like, what are you talking about? Because the spirit in you will not be able to stand the spirit in them, and the spirit in them will not be able to stand the spirit in you if you truly got right with God. Now, I know some people that, you know, are still acquaintances with those people because they're at least trying to get them right with God, and that's different. Like, you know, you talk to them every once in a while. Like, I know somebody from my high school, and I have her phone number, I have her on Facebook, but we don't talk as we used to. We used to be best friends, but now it's like, because she believes in some stuff that I don't believe in, but I know she still has a human soul and she's still willing to, like, you know, she can still get saved. So I'm not just gonna completely cut her out my life, right? Now, I don't talk to her the same way, but she's still there. She recently just told me happy birthday. Yeah, but we're not best friends because of the fact that I changed and I am getting closer to God, right? That's one big thing that you're going to see if you are truly walking God's path, is you're going to become an outcast. 100%. You're not going to want to listen to the same things. You're not going to want to watch the same things. Okay. Now, another thing is when you're following God's plan is the hardest, easiest thing to follow. So what I mean by that is the path to get started normally is extremely hard. It's something that you have to like jump over a mountain, climb through a river, whatever. But once you get past it, it's the easiest thing to do. Like, one of the biggest things that God led me to start doing, well, that I've been doing for years, but the first thing that I was led to do was to read the Bible. And I've talked about that in my testimony video, is I just opened up the Bible and I felt led to read the Bible, and I heard in my spirit different chapters and things like that, and I started reading the Bible. It was so hard for me to get started because I had this excuse. I was like, I don't understand it, da da da. But once I got started, I couldn't stop. Okay. And then also reading the Bible first thing in the morning. I used to have to do something very, very early in the morning, like 6 a.m. in the morning. And I was just like, I am so tired. I am too tired to read because I gotta turn on lights. I don't have anywhere to go to turn on lights. Or when it comes to my phone, I'm like, that bright light, what am I doing? So, and I've talked about this before about shortcuts on your phone. So I don't know about Androids, but I know that iPhones have shortcuts. And so I have a shortcut that when my phone turns like the good morning thing, when it's time to like wake up, it automatically immediately goes to the Bible and it opens up the Bible. So as soon as I look at my phone and I turn on my phone, the Bible shows up and I just press it and I listen to it as I'm getting ready for the day. So boom, that excuse is gone. And it's the easiest thing I could possibly do. And then later on in the day, when I have the time, I'll probably go to a duck pond. I'll go to the park while Charity's playing, and I'll go ahead and I'll read the Bible. So, or I'll stay home and I'll do it. So that is what I mean by it's hard, because you have to push through it. It's just like with working out, and I've talked about working out a lot of times. Same thing with working out. When you get started on working out, you're just like, oh, I'm so tired. And then finally, when you start getting muscles, it's like, oh, this is easy. This is very easy. And then, you know, especially if you do classes at a gym or if you have an instructor, whatever, they'll tell you, well, once it gets easy, go ahead and add a weight. Go ahead and add a weight, add more reps, get a little bit harder. And it's like, oh, this is so hard, I don't want to do it. And then once you get, you're getting a little stronger, and it's like, oh, this is easy, then you add a little bit more. And that's pretty much how it is, when you're following God's plan. Is like, boom, this is super easy, we're getting there. And then like God's gonna let you like live that easy life for a little bit, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, here's another challenge. Can you handle it? Right? And one analogy that came to me this morning was following God's plan is like being on a train. And you're on this train and your destination is heaven. That's where you're going. But obviously on a train, there are different stops, okay? So I grew up going on trains in Chicago, and there was always like, the stops were completely different. There was a stop at a train track that looks gorgeous. It's beautiful. And then there was that one stop that's like in your head, you're hearing that like murder music, like Michael Myers is about to come out or something. Like, it's terrifying. And you're just like, I'm not going out there. And sometimes that's where you need to go because that's your stop, right? Now on this train, in this analogy, you're not getting off the train, but the train is constantly stopping, the doors are constantly opening, and there's people on the outside of that door. Now some of those people on the outside of the door, they're blessings, so they're going to come in that train and they're going to hand you those blessings, and they're going to help you, and they're going to encourage you, and they're going to make you go straight. And some of those stops on the outside of those doors are challenges, and God's challenging you. Are you going to stay focused on me and stay focused on my plan? Or are you going to go out there and you're going to handle what's going on out there? And it's like, no. Whatever's going on out there, I'm good. God, I've got you. You're driving this train. You're the conductor. You're going to keep going, because if I get off this train, I have no idea when you're going to close the doors. I have no idea when you're going to keep going. And if I miss my opportunity to stay on this train, if I get off and the doors close, I have no idea when you're coming back. So no, we're staying on the train. I know there's issues going on out there. God, I trust in you to handle it. And that's one big thing that God is leading me to, truly trust him. Like, the stuff that I'm going through right now, I have been thinking about if I didn't have God, I would be so depressed. I would be crying every single day. I would be so worried, not having, like, I have no idea when, next money's gonna come in, or if my bills are gonna get paid, whatever. It's like, and I'm thinking about it like, wow, I thank God I have God. I thank God I'm on this train and I'm focused on where I'm going. I believe that the conductor is in his seat. I can't see the conductor, but I know he is there. And I know this train is moving. Obviously is moving because he's moving it. A train can't move on its own. It needs a conductor, okay? So, hopefully that makes sense. Anyways, some things that God has been helping me with personally on my path with him is definitely having joy and peace and waking up every day, just trusting in him to lead me and guide me on how the day is going to go. I have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. I have no idea what's going to happen when I'm done recording this video, when I edit this video. I have no idea what's going to happen, but God is leading me to truly just trust in him and be led by him. And like I said in the beginning of this video, the best way to know if you're truly following God is if your life is changing in God, okay? All right, so this video is already pretty long, and there are some other topics that, God has been leading me to just really sift out on my own. And if I feel led, I will definitely go ahead and make another video and record those for you guys. But as of right now, I really need everyone to just take a deep breath and ask God. Ask him, truly ask him, God, what is your plan for me? Not what my plan is, not what I see my life is leading towards, but what is your plan? Remember, we walk by faith and not by sight. And I'm telling you guys right now, when I tell you what I was seeing my life was going towards, I was excited. I wrote it down on my prayer board, everything. And then all of a sudden it was like, nope. And there's no way for me to get this back. Like, no way. Unless there's a shift change or something big has to happen. Like, I literally in my head, like, there's no way for me to get this back. And then I'm like, I actually don't want it. Now that it's been taken from me, I'm like, I don't want it. I thought I did, but I don't. So definitely make sure that you are praying to God every single day. And I've talked about it too, about asking God to show you your heart. So definitely ask that first, and then ask God, hey, what is your plan for me? What do you want me to do? And every single day, wake up, God, what do you want today to be like? All right, so God bless you. Have a nice one.